So, what's your name and where are you from?
My name is Joan, J-O-A-N, Plune, P-L-E-U-N-E. I'm 72 years old. I live in downtown Brooklyn.
And okay. Joan, what drew you to the movement down here?
It looks like there's a real movement. This has been going on all over the world, and hopefully there's a start of something going on in this country that isn't just us old people getting arrested, protesting drones at Hancock Air Force Base or at Quantico, protesting Bradley Manning's being at Quantico, which we've been doing for years. This looks like it might be young, and I'm all for that. And do I want to be the organizer? Hell no. Let them do it.
So how have you felt? Well, would you mind telling me about your organization a little bit?
The Granny Peace Brigade is an organization that was formed when 17 grannies were arrested 6 years ago, blocking the recruitment center on 42nd Street. They actually were acquitted of blocking it. Their shtick was to enlist in place of their grandchildren. And the recruiters, rather than just letting them in the door and filling out the paperwork, locked the door. So if you have ever looked at that recruiting station, the granny sat down on the ramp. Now they didn't block it actually, they just sat down on it, but they were arrested. And they had a 6-day trial, and they were acquitted. And that was the beginning of the Granny Peace Brigade. Today we do everything from asking people to call their congressman, which I personally think is, a little bogus, to being arrested, blocking recruiting station, and other kinds of actions. We, at Christmas time the last 2 years in a row, there's a Toys R Us at 44th Street. It has a Ferris wheel in it. We've hijacked the Ferris wheel. We get on it with banners and signs. And we sing, all we are saying is give peace a chance, right? The first year they threw us off, but they gave us our money back. We got off very slowly. It took a half an hour to get us off. This year they just let us go around, we were thinking of not getting off at all, but we thought it wouldn't be popular with parents with kids on the Ferris wheel. It wouldn't make us look good, so we didn't do it. Okay. It hasn't been difficult for me. I'm only here. I've actually been here the last 6 days, but for only most days 2 hours a day. Yesterday I went on the march, and my friend Bev and I were arrested with a bunch of young people. So that was a longer day. But I'm not trying to participate in this in any way as an organizer. I organize grannies, but I think it's time for the young people to organize their own movements. So it's kind of a free ride in a funny kind of way. There's a march, let's go.
My name is Ryan.
Where are you from?
Rochester, New York.
What drew you to the cause there?
Well, in Rochester, part of the Take Back the Land movement, where people are being foreclosed on, kicked out of their houses. Work with organized community to do eviction blockades, stand up to the banks, people on their homes. And also support homeless people to liberate vacant homes. So kind of in our own community, we stand up to Wall Street and how it's foreclosing on people's lives and really destroying our community and making people poor, stealing our houses and our land. So a lot of us want to come down here to take it directly down to Lower Manhattan, belly of the beast, where it all happens. And not just coming for a one-day protest, but are setting up shop to say we want to create the world that we want to see, build sort of this horizontal democratic movement where people find each other, break through the isolation, discuss ideas, and build sort of people's movement in the ways that we've been seeing in Europe and the Middle East. People, liberating spaces.
What have you found in that time to be most challenging for you?
Probably most challenging, definitely for me, I think, the first weekend, I definitely wanted, hopefully people would push the limit a little more, to take Wall Street directly. So that was kind of frustrating for me. People didn't feel like they're ready or didn't want to, and I think even though I really value the General Assemblies, there's definitely, one of the days was an 8-hour General Assembly. It was pretty exhausting, and I value the process, and it's just like challenging and frustrating, but it's also like part of like the growing pains of like participatory democracy, where we're not empowered to make the decisions for ourselves. We put a ballot in a box and we say, oh, you're a professional, you're going to do all this stuff for us, instead of us learning the issues for ourselves, working together, and like building cooperation.
If there's one thing you could kind of say directly to companies, people who are in charge, what's one thing you want to communicate?
I guess if I just said directly to companies is, we need a completely new model. If people want to do business, there's no reason why we can't do it cooperatively instead of competitively. And we need to have models where people are accountable to their stakeholders, not the shareholders. So, there's ways that people who want to do business, if they have a specific interest in, food production or whatever it is, there's ways to do it which everybody wins.